So I'll show you a very early model of this. And so this is one that was made a few years ago, and you'll see the city of Chicago login will come up with a defined kind of the loop space, basically. So this is all through the web, and there's geometry in here, and I can kind of sort and classify buildings by different filters. So in this case, it's looking at energy consumption of these buildings. And I can select a building, and I can get what that actual building's energy consumption is for the year, and the breakdown. And then I built in a retrofit module that basically allows you to say, okay, if we change the lighting from T12 to LED, it's going to save that white little sliver of energy. And if you change it, an economizer cycle into that building, it's going to save more energy. So basically, there's, I think, a collection of 15 different measures in the background of this thing that as I click on a building, I can click those different measures, those retrofit measures, and it will tell me how much energy savings will be seen in that building. And this happens like instantly, because everything's kind of pre-run. So this is like one kind of interesting application, but it's kind of older. So you saw it was just one little kind of small loop space, not small, but it's just focused on the loop. You start to look at it more of a holistic picture now. Maybe I'll just show the live model for that. There you go. Just gotta find it. You see that right?
See that the lights?
Oh wait. All right, so here's one. Oh shoot. Okay. So the chicken pox design here, those are all actually Twitter, geolocated Twitter calls that happened in the last like 5 minutes. I actually left it on. That's why I have so many. They're supposed to disappear. So I have a 3D map here, and if you aren't too familiar with maps, this is actually Cook County. I'll move it to a top view. You can kind of see it a little bit better. But this is Cook County. We're sitting like over here right now where I'm selected. Where that mouse cursor is in the mark over there or something. And I get a very nice interface where I can browse all this data, basically. So it's really just database visualization. That's what this really is. So all of the yellow lines here represent the subway rails, the L rails. That's from Open Data Portal. The green lines are all the major arterial roadways. And then I have all the track data in this as well. And that's what I'm kind of selecting over, and it tells you what track you're selected over.
Census tract.
Census tract, right. So you see in the center there, I got a little black blob kind of thing. And as I pan around, that black blob moves around. It's almost, I think about it as like a lens almost. You put a lens, magnifying glass up 2.5 or something, you can kind of burn people, not saying So
What power do you have with this?
You zoom in, I don't know yet. You zoom in and it draws in another data set. In this case, this is the building parcels extruded by height. And these Twitter feeds continue to go, and it's amazing. First of all, I'll just say it's amazing what people write up there. The first day that the Twitter feeds were built into this thing, I was like observing it, watching it, and I think that weekend it was like Pride Parade going on. So this place was just blowing up with different feeds, and I think like the BET Awards were on too. So it's just fascinating to see the range of different things people were saying. And I still get a kick out of just like watching this kind of stuff. It's like, oh, it's just right. What a day. Okay. Anyways, so it's drawing another data source into this. In this case, it's building parcels, and the colors represent the average census tract energy consumption for those parcels. And so as I zoom around, it draws this from my database sitting on Amazon right now, and this is essentially for the entire city, and it's all being visualized with WebGL. Now I can change.
What are you doing for the 3D object? What's your source for the actual building shape then?
Yeah, so it's all from the data portal. It's using the building parcels. And then there's a metadata. There's a number of stories, and I'm just multiplying it by like 5 meters or whatever. Yeah. And And so it gets a rough approximation. It's not like a Google Earth or anything, or a Nokia here or whatever, but it's, I think they serve different purposes, not meant to be an exact, geological.
Yeah, there's another site called, I think, OSM Buildings. It's using that same data.
Yes.
Now in StreetMap, because it's open data now. And they're doing that same kind of calculation, taking the footprint, multiplying it by.
You can't like, I mean, used it, you can't move around it in the same way. It's still kind of inflexible at this point. That may change eventually, but, so you can change the type of building filter as well. Oh, where'd it go? So in this case, I just changed it to block level energy consumption, and this is like the raw energy consumption that's right now on the open data portal. They released all of 2010 gas and electricity data, which is like really sweet, and I don't think they've really done it anywhere else in the country, at least that's what I've been told. And I can actually select buildings here, and the next steps are, again, building those kind of retrofit modules into it in the same way. I just haven't really done it yet. Then I can also change it by use type. So this is, again, just looking at the meta tags in the background, and here, I want to say orange is commercial and red is residential. Or I'm sorry, yellow is residential, yeah. And then green is municipal. So you can kind of go between different filters, and it's all just based on the meta tags in the open data portal data.
Wait, what is the resolution for the gas and electric?
Block level.
Census block.
Census block, yeah. Which is pretty, and it's monthly too, which is awesome. So basically, instead of getting an individual building because they don't want to disclose that fine grain, you'll get a block which has a collection of three buildings on it or something, instead of just, kind of anonymous.
So this is all energy information that comes from ComEd, the utility. So the way they charge you for electricity usage is they're measuring kind of how much energy you use. Yeah. But it's not a smart meter where it's like, measuring every little twist and turn, but overall they kind of know how much you've used. And then what the folks in the city do, or somewhere along the way, they take each of those individual kind of households, and then they just add up all the numbers for that kind of roughly the city block area. That's what's being colored and shown there.
So this is another